Hey guys, welcome back. We are back with some more interesting stuff in this video. And guess what? We are building our own PHP framework in this video. So let me make you clear. We will be building a basic framework. It will be based on MVC framework, obviously, the MVC pattern, but it won't be as sophisticated and as effective as all of the other frameworks that are available right now. We won't be building a Laravel or a Symfony at all, but we will be building a basic version of the thing, and you will get to know how the framework works as well. So let's get started. First, we need to create the folder structure. Okay, I don't need this index.php, so let me delete it. This is our folder, and I will create new folder. I'll call it app. Inside app, okay, let me create the folders in the root first. So I'll need app, and maybe I'll need config. Then I may need public. Okay, and what I need here is I need a new file. This will be our framework file. I will call it framework.php in the root itself. Okay, great, fine. And the public, inside public, I will have index.php. So I can write here something, and this is not the actual root of our website. Our actual root would be public folder, public directory, and we will be pointing our domain maybe abc.com, example.com, something, and that will be pointed to this folder, so that it will work here. You don't need to worry that we have local/framework/public here, because it will be mounted, it will be pointed to a specific domain, so that you won't see these things later on. You will just see example.com/. All right. So we have the index file, we have the app config and framework. Great. So what we are going to do here is we are going to start with the framework.php first, so that I can load it here in the index and then load other stuffs. So for framework.php, this will be a class. Obviously, I'll call it framework class. Okay, it will have some routes in it. Routes are the heart of the framework, because everything is dispatched through the routes. Okay, so what I can do here is, let me include all of the classes that I will be creating inside app. So I'll be creating some controllers inside app, maybe some models as well to interact with the database, and some views. Views are not class, by the way. Views are just a simple HTML file. So I have to include all the controllers, right? So to include the controllers, let me make a function here, public function autoload, and it will load all the classes. So I'll be using this function provided by PHP standard library, PHP autoload register. I'll be using this function, and for this function to work, I need to pass function with $class here, so that I will get every classes here. I need to make the proper path for the class. I'll just do str replace and slash with directory separator in the name of the class. Okay, we have got the file path. Now this is I need to make the file path according to our structure. So every classes will be inside app. That's why what I will do, file equals the directory and app, then the class path, finally .php. This will be our absolute file path, and I'll have to include this file. So let me make sure that this file exists. File exists, file, then require once $5. Okay, we should be done with this. Maybe I will need to close this one here, not here, here. Okay, the autoload is done. Great. So now after autoload, what I can do the importing thing in the index.php. So for index.php, I will require once the framework, right? Framework.php. That's why I made this class first. All right. What I can do, I can require config.php because I will be maintaining my config over here. So let me create it. Config.php. We can store some database configuration and some other configuration, whatever you want here. Great. So we have included both of them. Now what I can do, I can make a instance of this framework class. Framework, new framework. And as you know, we have already made the autoload function, so I can call it framework autoload. So it gets executed, right? In order to check it, I need to have a class here. So I'll make a home.php class, which will have a class home and maybe one public function index. I can say echo index action of home controller. Okay, so I can check it easily now. See, so I don't have any error. It means this class is already loaded there. How can I verify it? If I create a new instance of home, will it work? Let me dump the variable. No, maybe because of the app space, right? Sorry, namespace. Let's not bother about it for now because there is no error. It means it has already included the class. Well, I can verify it from here. If I have something in file. Oh, I don't have anything in the file. Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's go with the next step then. So I won't call it for now. Let it be here. I can comment it. If I need it, I will use it afterwards. So there's no issue. Okay, let's go on with the flow. Then what I need to do next is I need to register some routes. So, and if to register routes in the framework, I need to create, there's a route, but I need to create function to register the routes. So for registering the route, I'll create a function that is public function route. It will have parameters, method, URL, URI, and action. What it does, it just simply adds or appends new element in this array as this one. So I'll have method as method and URI as $URL. Finally, action as $action. It is just to register the route so that every routes are now contained by this variable. Okay, so this is the route function, but I need to call it from index.php. So what I will do framework, the method name is route, and if someone accesses or requests a get request to so I need a base URL here. So let me create a base URL. Base URL equals directory name of server script name but I may have to trim it. Let's see. Dump base URL. So there is an error because I have syntax error. Okay, slash framework slash public. So I may not need this slash, or let's trim the slash from back as well. Right trim the slash at the last. It doesn't matter if it's in the first. I need this one, but I don't need if there is any in the last. Okay. So now I can register route because I have the base URL ready. So dollar base URL slash, because I was going to add slash here, so I removed it there to make sure that there is only one slash, not double slash. So what I need to do, I need to call controllers home controller index action. Nice. Okay, I have registered the route. Now I can handle the request. So to handle the request, I need the action again. Public function handle request. Okay, it won't have any parameters. No. And what I can do, framework handle request. That's it. I should be done with this index file. See how easy it is? Just this much of line in the index.php, and every time we hit any URL in our project, it will first come to index.php and it will handle everything. So now I can move on to this method. So for this method, let's do if it is coming here or not. Yeah, it is coming. Now this will be the heart of our framework because it will handle all the requests. Every request coming will first come here, first come in the index and then to here, and it will decide where to forward the action to. So first I need to detect the controller and the method that I need to call. So I will do controller and method. So they will be exploded separated by, oh no, I'm actually handling the request, right? So to handle the request, what I need to do, I need to match the route, that which route matches the current request. So I will loop through all the routes. I mean, there are these routes because I have every route in this variable. So I'm accessing it to loop through all the routes, available routes as $route. So currently we have only one route, and that is this one. We can add multiple routes here like this. We can add if base URL slash users, then home controller users action. We can call users action from home controller. Maybe we don't have users action. Let me create users action. This is the users action of home controller. We can create number of routes like this, right? So it's not the issue. For now, there are two routes. So I'm looping through these two routes here. So what I can do, I need to get the URI and method. URI and method for the currently requested page. Not for these routes, but currently requested page. So I'll get URI as I'll make a use of this parse URL function provided by PHP $server request URI and PHP URL path. I need the URL path. It's the flag. Okay, and now I need the method. Method would be server request method. It is either post or get or put patch, anything. So I can now check it inside here. If the route method inside route method, which is this method, is equals to currently requested method, which is this one. If get equals get, something like this. And route URI, the URI that is registered is equals to currently requested URI. If both the case are true, we can dispatch it to the appropriate method. So what I will do, this dispatch. Actually, this is just the request handler. Now I am using dispatcher. So for the dispatcher, I'll need to make another function, dispatch. Okay, So while dispatching, what I'll need to send, I'll need to send the action to, so that where to dispatch it. Please dispatch this request to here. So it's requesting this function to dispatch the request here. Now the role comes here. So for the dispatcher, now I need to identify action and controller, because this action has, if you come and see what there is in action, it will have, I'll show you, it will have this value. All right. So if I'm requesting home page / page, then this should be in the screen right now. Oh, there's some error. Let's see. Did I miss something? Let me remove it and see. Okay, the error is here. Maybe I should return if I find some route. No. Oh, I made the mistake of spelling. Yeah, see, we have controllers home @ index, because this is the exact route that I need to call if user is accessing this URL in the URL bar. Okay, now I can explore it easily. So what I need here is I need to separate this controller and action. So list controller, oh my god, controller and action equals explode it, explode by @ the string will be action. So now I have controller and action with me. Now if I need to check if the controller exists. So if class exists the controller, then I'll do something. Then what I'll do, I'll create a new object of that controller. So controller object equals new controller. Fine. And now I need to check if the method exists. So how I will check it? I will do if method exists in this object, and the method name is action, right? Okay, this is confusing, so let me make it method. Okay, so if the method also exists, what I will do, I will call the controller object method. Easy, right? And if it is not present, then what should I do? Well, that depends on your choice, but let me just echo it. Method $method does not or not found in controller. Controller, which controller? The controller. Okay, this is good. And if the class does not exist, then I can say controller, this controller not found. I couldn't find the controller, so I cannot dispatch it anywhere. Great. So this should be it. Let's see. Now it says controller home not found. So why is it saying that? For this thing, I need to go to the controller. Let's go to the controller. This is the controller. So what I need to do here, because it is getting, see, it's accessing controllers / home, right? So I need to add a namespace here. Namespace will be controllers, so that whenever it requests controllers / home, controllers / home. Okay. So let me see why it is not working. Maybe because I removed the autoload. Yeah, it can be an issue. Let's see. I guess this is the issue. If I do framework autoload, it should work now. No. So where am I missing something? This is okay. This is good. This is good. And yeah, it should be fine up to here. No, it's not. Oh, controller not found. It came here because this was not the exactly what we expected. So let's see what we need to cut it now. What do we have here in the controller? Controllers home. Okay, what if we do $controller equals app controller home? Okay, I know this is the problem. This is the problem from Autoload. That's not the issue here. The problem should be here. We have to get home controller here anyhow. Okay, it's not getting here. That's the problem. So why is it not getting here? Let's debug it. Autoload SPL, autoload register. This is the function provided by PHP standard library function class. I'll get the class name here. So I'm just separating the by directory separator the class. Okay, is it calling or not? Yeah, it's calling here. This is the autoload. That's fine. So let me check it one more time. Why am I not getting it? This is home. This is home.php. That's okay. So for this index.php, let's see if something is wrong there. I have included framework. I have included config. There's nothing in config for now. It doesn't matter. So I created new framework. I called the autoload and then registered some routes, couple of routes. Okay, maybe this could be the issue. Let's see. Okay. See, index action of home controller. When we go to the root directory, what it will call index action of home controller. And suppose if we go to /users, then it will call users action of home controller. Let's duplicate it and call it from here. Okay, we have some issue here, maybe because of index.php. Okay, we'll solve it later on. This is a different issue. So this is working fine, right? Okay, this is working fine. No issues here. Now what we need to do? Maybe we need to call the view from here, not call the direct echo here, but we need to call load another view from here. So to load the view, it's you need to, if you need some sophisticated code or something like Laravel does, maybe return view, something like this, you need to write some more code in your framework, but let's do it in a simpler way here. So what I will do here is I'll just include the directory and then probably this should work. I don't know, let's see. This is just my, I don't have views any here. I don't have views. Let me call it home.php and let me say h1 tag home page. If this is the home page, I need to include home.php. Let's see if it works. Okay, this is not working. Public slash, that's fine. Let me comment it. If there is error, no, the error was on this line actually. Include. Okay, I forgot concatenation here. See, this is working perfect. So we have already loaded the view as well. All right, if we want to pass some parameters, we can do it easily, like maybe name equals John Doe. All right, so it won't be an issue. And in view file, what I can do in a strong tag, welcome name. Let's see. See, we can easily pass the parameters as well. So if we change the name from here, from John Doe to, let's change it to Elon Musk. Welcome Elon Musk. See, this is working perfect. So as you can see, we can pass the parameters as well. Let me go with John. Cool. So you get that point, right? So what we have set up till now, we have the framework ready. We have the routes ready. Okay. What next? So what we will do, we'll actually go through the database then, because it is one of the important aspects of any web application. So let me create a new database here. I will call it framework. Okay, I won't create any tables here because I will delegate it the task of creating tables to this framework only. So for the config, here is where I will write all of the configuration. So I will define something here. Define DB host. I will need a couple of things for the DB connection. DB host, DB name, DB user, and DB password. For my case, host is localhost. DB name is, I just created it. What I did, framework. User is root, password is test. In your case, user name might be root and password will be blank by default in your local machine. So we have the credentials ready. Now we will try to make the database connection. So I'll call it PDO equals new PDO. MySQL host equals DB host and DB name equals DB name. And this next parameter would be DB user followed by DB password. Okay. And let me create this thing as well. Set attribute PDO after error mode and PDO error mode exception. Let's see if the connection is established or not. So I have included it. I should see it, but I didn't see it. Maybe I missed something here. Let's see. MySQL host equals DB host semicolon DB equals DB name and then DB user DB pass. That's okay. I don't know what's the issue here. Let me comment this out. No, maybe I have error here. Oh, I got the error. Since I used try, I need to catch it. Otherwise, it will throw me some error. PDO exception $E. I will die and say database connection failed. And the error message is $E get message. I'll die with proper message. Still error. Okay. This is interesting now. Host equals, let me check if this is fine. Host and DB name. Yeah, that's what I should provide. Let me call it the string connection string equals something like this. Okay, let me see if there is a problem here. Connection string. I can pass anything here now. I still have error. We remove everything. Okay, now it's working. It means this does not have any problem. Let me write it again. So PDO will be new PDO. The first parameter would be connection string followed by DB user and DB password. Let's see. I didn't have error. It means this should be success now. Okay. If I were done video, there should not be any error. Okay. I have the video ready. Great. Okay. This might be enough. Maybe not. Like I said previously, I don't have any tables here. If I want to make, so the list of users here, I need to have users in my database. So I will create a table, but not from PHP. I will make sure that if the table is not present, the code itself will create the table. So I'll create a variable, create table equals. I'll write the query here, the SQL query. So create table if not exists. Which table? Users table. So what are the columns that I need for the user? ID, integer, auto increment. It should be primary key. Then maybe name parkar 255 not null. Email parkar 255 not null and unique as well. Okay. What next? Maybe password varchar 255 not null. And finally created at. It should be timestamp. This should be by default current timestamp. Let's see if this works or not. So I have the SQL ready. Now what I can do, I will need to execute it. PDO execute exec the query. Great. If you see, I don't have any table currently, but if I refresh it and see here, I have the table ready. Great. So I have the proper columns as well. ID, name, email, password created at. Let me insert some rows here. Let's go with let's try this. Email would be let's try this at gmail.com, something like this. Password maybe anything. And current timestamp. Okay, go. Let's insert new user. John Doe. Email will be john@john.com. Password will be anything. So we have 2 users right now. Great. So now our next task is our homepage is okay. And now we need to show the list of users when we go to /users. This is our task. So I have already registered the route for this one, but it's not working yet. Let's see what I'm missing. This should not be issue. This is the same as this one. So it should not be issue. Let's see why it is not loading. As I said, it may be because of index.php. Okay, at least I have a blank thing. Why is it blank? Let's see in the dispatcher what I have here. Okay, not this one, but this one. Controller, which controller? Oh, this is the one. And dollar controller, which controller should I hit and which method should I call? Okay, it's not coming here. So what I will do first is make sure that I don't need to include index.php here. If you see, if I remove index, it's 404. It's outside our framework. But if I use index.php, it's at least inside our framework. So I need to make sure that I don't need to use index.php. For this purpose, I will be creating htaccess file. This is the most common way to handle things like this. And you don't need to remember the code that you write here. But for now, I'll write it. Rewrite engine. Actually, nobody else remembers this code. On read write condition request file name. If there is file, you just serve that file, and if there is some directory named it, you just serve that directory. What it's saying is that if inside public there is a folder called users, then what happens? We don't need to go through the framework because we have to access the things or the resources inside users. That's what it's saying. If there is some folder or file, you just serve that file. But if there is no any folder or file with that name, we have to rewrite the rule. So the rule will say if anything comes here in any number, it means slash user slash abc slash 123, then call index.php with the parameters that I am sending here. Maybe this should work. And the directory index would be index.php. Let's see if it works. Okay, there is some problem here now. It means I have some syntax error or something wrong here. Let's check it one by one. So rewrite engine on. Maybe I have some spelling mistake. Rewrite condition, request file name, file directory. This is okay. For this one, this may be error. The error may be here. Rewrite rule. It's okay. This sign is okay. Dot asterisk is okay. Dollar is okay. Then index.php slash $1. This is okay. QSA, comma, L. That's also fine. Directory index is index.php. Maybe this one is causing the issue. Nope. Let's check for the root. This is also having problem. So what we need to do here, I think I'm doing it right. Let's search for it. Remove index.php from stxs URL. Okay, that's what I want. Maybe this works. Or I can copy the whole thing here. Let's see. See, it's working. For the users, for the users, it's not working. Because of this, I think. Yeah, this fine. Users. See? Perfect. So what I was doing wrong, let me check. Okay, I was doing this thing. Oh, just this character, I think. Now, let's see if I replace this. Oh, it's still not working. I don't see any difference. Is there anything different here? Oh, this is not dollar. Oh, I got it. Finally, I got it. I was right all the way through. I just need to make sure this is not dollar. This is percentage. See? So now I can use public users. I can use public. Great. Now we are on probably the last step, and that is executing the query from model. So I need to make a model that I will call user model because I'll be querying in the user table, right? So for the user model, let's create the model first. I'll do PHP class user model. Model will also be a normal class. It will have PGO property, and it has a huge role to play. You'll see it right now. So I'll create a constructor here, and I'll get the global PDO. So what it does, it will get the PDO that we created here, right? This PDO. It will make it global and it will catch this here. So we have the PDO here, and I will say this PDO equals the PDO that I have just got from the db config. Great. Now I can execute. queries. So public function get all users. I want to get all users. So the SQL would be select asterisk from users, and the statement will be this PDO query with the SQL, and return the statement fetch all PDO fetch soak. So I have already returned the result. But what I need to do, I have not called this model from anywhere yet. Let's see. There's nothing issue here. If I go to users, there is nothing issue here. But I need to call it. I need to call it from the users action, right? So how can I do it? So for calling the model, what I can do, I will create a new instance of the user model class, new user model, and then users equals $user model, and then the function inside it. User model get all users. Just now I created this function, right? And then finally load the view, and we will load the view like this. I don't need to exit, not the home, but the users maybe. So in the users.php, I need to make a new view. Okay, let's type something here and see if it is working. Oh, there is an error. I expected it. So you don't need to worry, because we are always creating a new model and then calling the function. But you can always modify the way you load the model, and load the model actually in the framework itself, so that you don't have to create a new instance always from the controller. That's what most of the common framework do. But the issue is not here right now. Maybe the issue is in namespace. Oh, I have not included the user model here. So what I need to do, I need to use models user model. But user model maybe doesn't use the namespace. Let's see. Yeah, it's not using any namespace right now. So I need to use namespace models. Let's see now. It's still error. Okay. Now let's debug it. If this is working fine. Yeah, it's working fine. If it is calling this properly, user model get all users, echo, let's not do echo, let's do random SQL. Great, this is also fine. So what am I missing here? This PDO query, this is okay. Fetch all. Oh, it's not get all, it's fetch all. All right, let's see. So we still have some error. PDO, maybe because of this, could be. See, because it is searching it in the model namespace, but PDO is not inside model namespace. It is the built-in PHP data objects provided by PHP, and it is in the root. So I will just make sure that it doesn't search PDO in the model namespace itself. So this is fine. So we already have the result, right? We just need to print out our results. So in the users, in H1, I will say users list. I can easily say it now because I have the user list here in the variable users. So maybe ul li. I will just look through the users. PHP for each users as user, and then close the loop. Okay, inside li, maybe in strong tab, I will show the username. Echo ternary user, maybe name. I forgot the column, but it should be name. See, let's try this. And John Doe. I can print all of these things actually. So let me print email as well. In p tag, echo $user email. Oh, not this one. See, great. I can also do HR. Oh, let's not use HR. Let's do style equals border bottom 1px solid TDD and padding bottom 10px, margin bottom 10px. Okay, not bad. Yeah, now if I add more users here, it will obviously show those as well. So I'll add a Mr. ABC. Email will be abc@abc.com. Password could be anything. Save and then see Mr. ABC. You can obviously customize your query as well here. Order by ID or created at descending so that recent users come at first. See, this was the first one I added, and then I did this, then I did this. So looks like we have almost covered all the basics. We have the routers. We have the routers, handle request and dispatch. Routes are registered in index.php. You can register more routes here. And then it's obviously based on MVC pattern. So we have controllers, models, and views. We have database connection, obviously. And the table is created if it is not there present already. And if it is present there, it will not be created. No issues in there. And we have the ST access to remove the index.php from the URL, because every request inside this framework will first come to index.php and then it will forward to the correct actions and controllers. So I think I wanted to cover this thing this much in this video. There's always a scope of improvement. This is just the basic version of new framework, your custom framework, I mean. So you already always have the option to include, some helpers, libraries, middlewares, even make this routing more, sophisticated and more effective. You have to handle sessions, you have file uploads, you have URLs, you need to have helper functions. There is a lot more to improve on it. But for someone who just want to start as a, in order to learn a new framework or build your own framework, this is perfect. You can always work on it and improve it. So you don't need to worry about the source code. I have provided a link in the video description where you can find all the source codes along with explanation of what everything is going on, how everything is working. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe us for more interesting and useful videos like this. This much for today. Cheers, guys.